with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Lambton Shores fire crews were on the scene of a large fire at the Rona store in Grand Bend earlier today. The commercial building is near Lake Road and Ontario Street South. Residents in the nearby subdivision were told to close their windows and shelter in place. At this point, there is no word on what started the fire or how extensive the damage is. London fire investigators are looking into a fire from this morning in the Soho neighborhood. Video obtained by CTV News shows the firefighters in action. They say there are no injuries to report. The cause of the fire is unknown at this point. Southdale Road was shut down this afternoon because of a two-vehicle crash. It happened near Southdale and Delaney Drive. Emergency responders did not provide any details on injuries. Lambton OPP say they are still looking for a missing person on Lake Huron. This goes back to Monday when police reported 5 people had fallen off a raft at Pinery Provincial Park near Grand Bend. Police say 2 of those people made it back to shore safely. 2 others got back on the raft, but a 5th person is still unaccounted for. No other details on their search efforts have been provided. Pushback in Woodstock today after an Oxford County Council decision to turn a former YMCA into a homelessness support center. As Brian Bicknell reports, it was a decision made behind closed doors.
This former YMCA building on Dundas Street in Woodstock is about to be transformed into a homelessness support center.
I call blindsided everybody.
Travis Tews lives directly behind the former Y and says he's upset neighbors were never given the opportunity to provide input.
The grocery carts and everything else that get pushed around. When you see these carts, you see stuff laying on the ground everywhere. There could be needles and stuff. When I go to rake my leaves, I have neighbors with very young kids directly beside me. They're going to step outside. They're going to see the same thing.
Earlier this week, Oxford County announced council approved the building purchase in a closed-door decision last month. Councillor Deb Tate concedes she voted in favor of the property purchase, but became upset when she found out later the transaction would not be considered in open session.
Realizing nobody knew and they weren't going to tell the public, I was like, you can't do business like this. You have to tell people what's going on. So that's my issue. And trust me, I am fully supportive of a new location for the shelter because we know we need one.
The purchase price is $4.55 million. Tate says with renovations, it will go up to $8 million. She says there are no details on expected capacity or who's going to operate the site.
By going into closed session to consider the purchase of property, we've saved taxpayers $580,000 by getting it for less than what we were prepared to pay.
Warden Marcus Ryan saying the county does not negotiate property acquisitions in public. He says he would expect opposition no matter where the site is built.
We need this, but not here. And another group of people, we need it, but not here. And another group of people, we need it, but not here. Council's job is to pick a place. We cannot continuously chase, where is it going to go and find a place that everybody's going to love, because it's not going to happen.
The sale is set to close at the end of this month with an opening for the Homelessness Support Center in 2028.
No one in the neighborhood has heard anything about this, and we should have.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
City officials in St. Thomas are working on a potential vacant buildings bylaw. They say it's about ensuring empty structures don't turn into death traps. With more, here's Jerry Dewan.
This was the scene in April of last year as a long vacant St. Thomas warehouse went up in flames, pouring black smoke into the air. Fire officials couldn't be sure if there was anyone inside or if the contents posed a danger. The incident became the catalyst for a new bylaw.
That was, of course, a long-standing vacant building that we had known was going to be a problem for a long, long time. It was just kind of that thing that said us, yeah, this is something we need to do now.
Destin and Fire Chief Dave Gregory went before City Council to lay out the path to the vacant buildings bylaw and the reasons for it.
We always use, the 3 o'clock in the morning incident. When we get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to a vacant building, what are we getting into? What hazards are in there?
The bylaw is being developed with the help of city staff with an eye to being able to improve property standards enforcement as well. Owners would be required to be part of a registry identifying how the building is being used and report any use changes. There would also be financial penalties when a building stays vacant for an extended period of time.
Making sure that absentee landlords know that St. Thomas is a place where we actually do care about our heritage, our built heritage.
Let's make room for something and make it so that the owner, it's not quite so valuable for the owner to hold on to it for 10 years and let it sit.
Dustin says the primary concern is safety for first responders and any occupants in a building.
If you don't know who's in there, then you have to assume that there's somebody in there. If we know we were in there last week and it's still boarded up perfectly, then we can safely assume that there's nobody in there.
The fire department and city staff are reviewing vacant property bylaws from other municipalities to help them craft a bylaw that works best for St. Thomas. In St. Thomas, Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
The Thames Valley District School Board has announced a new CEO. Kevin Ucklin will assume the position on July 1st. He'll replace interim education director Bill Tucker, who is retiring next month. Ucklin is currently the senior superintendent of program and learning services for the Thames Valley Board, which remains under provincial supervision over concerns of financial mismanagement. Tomorrow marks the one-year anniversary of a fatal crash near Thorndale that killed 4 teenagers and their softball coach. One of those players was Cadence Ford. With more on how her family and friends have honored her memory, here's Scott Miller.
Cadence Ford was a passionate and determined teenager.
She's probably best known for screaming at her teammates to just keep going and stay positive, and having her music blasting in her speaker while she danced down the hall.
Ford was one of 4 teens killed alongside their coach while driving home from a school softball tournament in Dorchester last May. Saturday marks 1 year since the accident. Cadence's family, with her many jerseys displayed proudly behind them outside their Elmwood home, have started the Cadence Ford Athletic and Trades Foundation to try and carry on her legacy.
When she put herself into sports and trades, we saw her flourish. Like, she was the happiest she'd ever been. And so we want to make sure that all students have those opportunities.
Cadence's foundation is very hands-on, offering grief counseling and life coaching for teens, filling a 250-item wish list, everything from wrenches to team jerseys for 14 schools in Grey Bruce, and starting Blueprints to Burnouts, where 3 high school shop programs get to maintain and fine-tune a donated race car. Walkerton District Community School's number 22 car, an ode to Cadence, won the inaugural race 2 weeks ago. That's not to mention a student shed where kids in need can simply ask for donated work boots or cleats for their sport or trade.
So if students want to try out for a team or they want to go and do a co-op but they can't afford a certain sports item or work boots or something, then they come see us and we make sure that they have them.
Cadence's mother is also advocating for an end to teachers having to drive athletes and students to some sports or outside of school activities.
We want to see kids on buses. Coaches and teachers shouldn't be driving kids to their sports things. So we want to see kids on buses. We want to see some policies changed. We want to see the government put money where it needs to be.
Ford says Cadence was working towards becoming an electrician. She says the carpentry class at Cadence's school was actually building a shed for her to wire in the weeks before the accident. Sadly, Cadence never got to finish it, but her memory will live on through her family, friends, and the Cadence Ford Athletic and Trades Foundation.
We wanted her memory and her name and her spirit to be remembered. So what better way to do it than do it with her passions?
In Elmwood, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Coming up, how Team Canada is embracing the pressure with the FIFA World Cup just 3 weeks away. North American markets moved mildly today into positive territory. In Toronto, the TSX gained 62 points, and in New York, the Dow jumped ahead to 94, while the Nasdaq added 51. The Canadian dollar lost 0.13 of a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold fell almost $20 an ounce, and oil gained 25 cents a barrel. New retail numbers show Canadians are spending more, not because they have more money in their pocket, they're just paying higher prices for gas. And as Camille Karamali reports, that leaves less available for other purchases.
The surge in retail sales, specifically in the fuel sector, is not being viewed as a good thing because it has less to do with an increase in spending and more to do with higher gas prices. Retail sales in March increased by nearly a full percent to more than $72 billion. It was largely driven by this massive bump, more than 12% month over month in sales rising at gas station and fuel vendors. But it's not that they sold more. In fact, the actual volume of gas sold was down nearly 2%. It's just that gas is now more expensive, so they're bringing in more money. To add to that, core retail sales were down slightly. Those are sectors outside of fuel, like food, personal care, and clothing. All of that was down 0.1%.
The problem for when we look more under the hood for retail sales is that the longer oil prices remain high, the longer those gasoline prices remain high, the more it continues to squeeze households and reducing their purchasing power. And that will start to be a big headwind on spending going forward.
So when people are spending more money on gas, they spend less money on other goods. A concern that this trend will continue when April's retail sales numbers come out. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Canadian auto union leaders are responding to their American counterparts and their demands for new free trade negotiations. With more on their priorities and how they compare, here's Michelle Molesky.
Wearing a Kill NAFTA t-shirt, UAW President Shawn Fain makes their view clear.
It's time we rip it up and start over.
The UAW is demanding domestic content requirements, improved labor rights for Mexican workers, and strong wage standards for all. If those demands can't be met, the UAW says America should walk away from free trade.
Free trade agreements have made, NAFTA in particular, has made these corporations extremely, extremely profitable, by exploiting communities, wrecking communities, exploiting workers, and driving a race to the bottom, while a handful at the top take everything.
The 45-minute briefing barely mentioned Canada, but speakers repeatedly referenced factory closures and job losses to Mexico.
They know Canada is not a problem.
Unifor Local 444 President James Stewart says both unions agree the deal has allowed too much work to move to Mexico, and the wage provisions laid out in the deal for Mexican workers aren't working.
Rather than pay the workers in Mexico $16 an hour, they'll keep paying them less money and pay the penalty that it costs them to ship the cars to the U.S. because that's cheaper than paying the wages.
Unifor would also like that changed, and they would like to see more domestic content requirements. Stewart says, however, their biggest demand is zero trade tariffs.
Each country deserves their fair share of product based on our relationships.
The U.S. and Mexico are reportedly starting CUSMA talks on Monday. Canada isn't part of those discussions, but we won't have to wait long to find out what the future holds.
We're going to know on June the 1st, when USTR Ambassador Jameson Greer goes to Congress and says, hey, this is what we intend to do.
Volpe says then each country has until July 1st to state its intentions.
Say, we're in, no changes, or we want to make some changes and there's a review process, or we want out. And that means we start a 6-month clock.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Enhanced screening is now in place at Canadian airports in the midst of an Ebola outbreak. World Health Organization officials are warning about rising infections in Central Africa, but they say the global risk remains low. With more on the Canadian response, here's Heather Wright.
Passengers arriving at major ports of entry in Canada will now be asked about their travel history and any symptoms that could be related to Ebola, as the virus continues to spread rapidly in parts of Africa.
Our officers are designated as screening officers under the Quarantine Act and are well trained in the event that a traveler displays any symptoms of illness.
During a news conference this afternoon, Canada's top doctor gave an update on what she called a serious and evolving situation, including whether Canada will issue any travel restrictions on countries where the virus is circulating.
It's important that we look at how effective things like travel bans are. We need to be looking at whether or not there is any evidence that the outbreak is escaping the area that it's currently concentrated.
Dr. Joss Reimer says travel bans are ultimately a decision of cabinet. And while the Public Health Agency of Canada provides advice, Reimer would not say whether she would recommend any travel restrictions. Experts reiterate that the risk to Canadians remains low.
So I think for sure there's a heightened attention to the virus and its potential for spread through travel, but the risk to places outside endemic regions are very, very low.
On Monday, American officials suspended entry into the United States for 30 days for travelers without a U.S. passport who have recently been to the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, and Uganda. That ban forced a Detroit-bound Air France flight to divert to Montreal because a passenger from the DRC boarded the plane in error.
They were assessed by a Public Health Agency of Canada quarantine officer, found not to have any symptoms, and have since returned to their point of origin.
A person in Ontario who returned from Ethiopia with symptoms consistent with a range of illnesses was tested for Ebola out of an abundance of caution. Those tests have come back negative, and health officials are asking any passengers returning from the affected regions to monitor their symptoms for at least 21 days. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. As we head into the night, the clouds are starting to increase. We are tracking a weather maker that is going to push through for Saturday, bringing in wet and windy conditions for tomorrow. Take a look at this. It is a wide low pressure system that will pull through from the south. And with that, our temperatures are actually going to remain on the milder side overnight tonight, but tomorrow will feel cool, damp, and wet. I'll walk you through the next 24 to 48 hours and tell you about a nice big warm up that's heading our way. That's still ahead. I'll have all the details on the other side of this break.
Rita is here now with your full weather forecast. Rita?
Thanks so much, Lauren. We started the day off with some sunshine across southwestern Ontario, but as we head into the night, we are seeing lots of cloud cover start to build. Our high for today was supposed to hit 19 degrees, which is seasonal, but we didn't quite get there. We hovered around 17 for today, overnight low where it's supposed to be. The record, 31 degrees in 1964, record low in 2002 when we dropped down to 2 degrees. Now, as you can see, clouds starting to pull through from the south. Our temperature for tonight, though, will remain in the double digits because this system is approaching from the south, and you can see along the warm front, we will be dealing with widespread rainfall and a bit of a temperature boost tonight, but tomorrow will drop right back down, and as it moves through, our temperatures will actually feel quite cool. The winds will pick up tomorrow. There is a storm risk associated with the system first thing tomorrow morning as it pushes through. Heavier rainfall and then slowly starting to ease by Saturday night. Below seasonal daytime high for tomorrow of 12 degrees. Here's how it plays out on the forecast model. So throughout Elgin County, you could be dealing with some thunderstorms around 6 a.m. and then moving further to the north for us here in London. There is a chance for a bit of severe weather around noon before the system starts to move to the east, and then in around it will be some more rainfall wrapping around for Sunday. So unfortunately, Sunday morning will also be under overcast skies with some showers possible. But by the evening, we could see a little bit of sunshine start to peek through Sunday evening into Monday. And then things are definitely going to start to look up. Take a look at this. So once we get through the weekend, our temperature tomorrow struggling 14 degrees, rain Saturday into Sunday. Then a nice mix of sun and cloud Monday through to Friday, and our temperatures bumping back up to 26 degrees by the middle of next week under a nice mix of sun and cloud. Midwestern Ontario, similar conditions in store for you tomorrow, although the rain will arrive a little later. We are dealing with widespread showers for Saturday. Again, keep in mind those wind gusts will be anywhere between 30 to 50 kilometers per hour out of the east. And then heading into Sunday, that morning rainfall should clear out by the evening, but still remaining cool for the weekend. It won't be until Tuesday when we could see those temperatures start to climb. 22 degrees Tuesday, 25, feeling much like what we're supposed to be feeling in June on Wednesday under a mix of sun and cloud, and then lots of sunshine to close off next week. Lauren?
Thanks, Rita. London City Councillor Elizabeth Pelosa says she recently went through a life-threatening hospitalization in the middle of her cancer battle. She tells us it was an experience that tested her perseverance in this latest installment of Healing in the Public Eye.
Well enough now today to do a public update and catch everybody up. I ended up coming down with pneumonia and then a secondary infection, and my family doctor said it was sepsis. and ended up being hospitalized for a week. Pain management-wise, has not been a good couple of days. Knew I wasn't feeling well. I think we started to see that I was losing my voice and just the coughing and fatigue set in. It was obviously escalating very quickly.
Halfway through chemotherapy treatments, and unfortunately celebrating that accomplishment in Emerge.
Luckily, my son could drive me to Emerge. At that point, they instantly admitted me and started IV antibiotics.
My doctor asked if I had ever received a blood transfusion.
You always hope that your kids, as you've raised them, will step up when it's time. I'm sure he was terrified as well, as you're trying to put on a brave face for your kid of like, it's okay. As your body is like, I think we're dying. It was absolutely terrifying. Luckily, he drives.
You had to discontinue for a short time your chemo treatment.
For me, this is dose-dense treatment for cancer because the cancer could potentially be aggressive. They took out the tumors, all that's gone, but you're always worried about free-floating cells somewhere in your body hiding. And they're on an every other week schedule to make sure that they find it, they kill it. And then just in the back of my mind, knowing every delay is potentially making it less effective.
How did you deal with that?
If we're honest, crying in the shower, I think muffles things a little bit because I do have the children at home. Regardless of their age, they're still your kids and you're still their parent. And just taking that time to emotionally process it and that it's wherever you're at, it's okay. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. It might not be, but eventually you will hit the low in the valley and things will improve. I was able to start chemo treatment again last Friday, which was great. So now that's 5 of 8 rounds done.
We've published a new episode of our interview series, Leading London. This week, Carlisle Fazette was joined by the CEO and Chief Librarian of London's Public Library. Here's a clip from that conversation.
What I'm hearing is that the branches are healthy right now.
They're healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's improvements that obviously still need to be made, but I think we've patched some holes.
Sure.
Let's put it that way, and then we can move forward from there.
Is there, I guess, a sense of trying to make sure there's a baseline for all branches to at least reach to make sure there isn't like a disparity from, say, the most modern to the one that's in need of the most work?
Yeah, I think there is that. Certainly, the Sherwood branch was. Beforehand, it was you walk down a long hallway to get to the branch. It was hard to find in a mall. It was hard to find. We just opened it up to the mall, and the mall was very supportive. They were really, I think they understood the value of having a public library in a mall, and it's just really just such a transformation, and we'd like to see that. And it wasn't, we didn't break the bank with it. It was just some structural changes, and it really has just made such a difference there. So we really want to. We've established that as sort of the goal for every branch. It'll take a while to get there, obviously, but I think that there are branches, obviously, that need more help than others, and there may be strategic reasons to upgrade those branches first. That's what the strategic plan, the facilities master plan, is helping us address.
And I imagine the goal, of course, is to ensure that branches aren't closing because of these issues,
Absolutely,
right?
Yep.
Because at this point, are there any that are of that concern where that may be the case? But
no.
At this point,
not in that point on any of our branches. I think for the most part, they're all functional.
For the complete interview, you can head to our website, ctvnewslondon.ca, and click on Leading London.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca.
With just 3 weeks to go until the World Cup, Team Canada defender Derek Cornelius is embracing the pressure. The Ajax, Ontario native plays for one of Scotland's biggest clubs and is overcoming a significant setback. Here's CTV's Omar Sachedina.
This was the moment that cemented Derek Cornelius' reputation as a player who delivers. A stunning free kick goal and game winner in a friendly against Wales.
Take me back to that moment. What was it like for you?
During that day, I was like, let me work on my free kick and my striking, because I always feel like I have a good strike on myself. And then in the game, I just felt good and tried to take responsibility to have a hit. And yeah, I'm just happy it went in.
But just a couple of months later, a dramatic turn, a serious muscle injury in another friendly against Venezuela that required surgery and extensive rehab.
I've never been injured for this amount of length period, you know. But I'm grateful, you know. I have a very good support system between my family, my fiance, my friends.
That's good defending from Cornelius.
A support system he's been lucky enough to have even before he discovered his love of the game.
Your father was born in Barbados, your mother from Jamaica. You were raised in Ajax, Ontario. Tell me a little bit about how that upbringing influenced what you do now.
Yeah, you know, they never pushed me to play professionally, you know. They just wanted to keep me active, stay out of trouble, and keep me busy, you know. But from once I made the decision that I did want to go pro and I did want this to be my career, you know, they supported me every step of the way.
He began his pro career in Europe before returning to Canada with the Vancouver Whitecaps. Last year, he joined Scottish powerhouse Rangers FC in Glasgow.
Have you noticed anything when it comes to playing in Europe versus playing in the MLS?
You know, in a sense, like, that is their greatest joy, is when they're seeing their football team winning matches. On the flip side is when you don't perform and when you don't win matches, you know, you hear the backlash.
But does that backlash or that pressure ever get to you or get under your skin?
I wouldn't say it gets to me. I always try and look at it like pressure is a privilege.
Another source of privilege and pride, representing Canada at the World Cup.
To do it now in your home country, a lot of the guys are from Toronto, a lot are from Vancouver. We're going to be playing in those cities. It's going to be special for a lot of us, so we all just have that mentality that we want to really show well and represent Canada well.
What a challenge that was from Derek Cornelius.
Which he's clearly already done on both sides of the ocean. Omar Sachedina, CTV News, Toronto.
That's our time tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a great weekend.